quick. I need my glasses. My glasses on. Um, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I was going to try and see if someone was going to, if at least my one person who's always popping into my lives was going to come on so that I can get started. But I'm just going to go ahead, and this video I will not delete. I'll allow it to stay up. I hope everybody is doing good today. It is only right for me to begin this video giving praise and honor to God, Christ, who is head of my life. There's been a lot of questions. There's been a lot of speculations, assumptions, and opinions about my faith, and my beliefs, who I am, what I do, and what I'm about. And so for those of you who don't know, I am a Christian. Never have I questioned my love for Christ, and especially not my love for God. The word says, if you believe in God, believe also in me. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I'm not a person who fakes my faith. I'm not a fake person at all. I am who I am. I am really Zanita. Flaws, mistakes, and all. So, oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I wish I could see you. Hi. Yeah, so a lot of people, I have been tested so much in regards to my faith. I've been tested religiously. I'm loving the stream, girl. Keep up the good work. Oh my goodness, thank you. I feel like it's so dry and corny because I'm not a big talker. I'm more action orientated, and I write. I'm a writer. And so I rather write than just be in the forefront speaking. I've always made things happen from behind the scenes, and I'll push other people up before me, so the light shines on them, and they get their praise and their reward. I've never did anything for a reward. I just did it and do because it's in me to do it. But anyway, so like I was saying, I've been tested so much religiously and spiritually. And so for those who don't know, I believe in Christ. Christ is head of my life. I try to live as much as I can and be as much as I can, a real stand-up woman of God. But, oh, I'm going to cry. I don't want to. I have a daughter. Will y'all accept her? Let her shine. Um, but so like, what was I saying? I I but I'm flawed. I'm just like anybody else, and I'm not a goody two shoes. I make a lot of mistakes. I'm very flawed. I'm still learning. I don't know it all. I don't want to know it all. That's why I continuously and always put myself in school. I'm always like educating. I love seminars and webinars and events and meetings. Like those things make me so happy. Like I am so fulfilled, and I'm just like overjoyed when I am a part of those type of things that enhance evolution, growth, and unity and betterment. And I'm very passionate, so I may cry because I don't want to see like change for just myself. A lot of people may think because I stay to myself, or they may not see me working with other people, that I am selfish. I am, and I will. I'm a big baby, crybaby. I can be. Um, but I work well as a team player, and I work even better individually. Um, uh, but I am not selfish. I understand the value in self first. Without putting ourselves first, we cannot do for another person. I can't show up as my true self if I don't know myself. And I have taken a lot of time, a lot of patience with myself. I've made a lot of mistakes. I have turned the wrong corner. I have gotten in the wrong lane. All of the above. Um, as I was learning myself, as I was making the decisions that would carry me out for the rest of my life, and that would lead, if not, not just my family, which my father teaches me and has instilled into me self-preservation. And so I know the importance of taking care of self first, then taking care of your household. So with me, I have children. I'm a single woman. So my household would be my children. So I take care of myself. I take care of my children. And I continue to work hard, not because I'm money hungry or that I'm a gold digger. It's because I'm trying to have enough and make enough so that I can be an asset, be be of help, for lack of better words, to those outside of just myself and my family. And um, um, I love people, but I am shy. Like, when I first came to Vegas, I was very quiet and shy, but Vegas taught me and kind of forced me in a way to get out and shake a hand and meet a friend, so to say, which means to get out and network, get in the crowd, put yourself on the stage, and, just you never know who you'll meet. And my mother prepared me for that growing up. My grandmother, I was taught, how to carry myself, and how to present yourself starting from home when when you're out in public, all the way down to your drawers, don't wear any holy drawers because, you never know, you may get into an accident and you have to be cut out of your clothes, and you don't want to be cut out of your clothes and you got holy drawers on. So, I was taught early on about things, of that nature. So, anyway, so just to clarify that part, I am a woman of God. I know that I am a powerhouse. Um, my worst nightmare and the most traumatic experience of my life that pretty much has pushed and is continuously pushing me into my purpose was the loss of my son, my 13-year-old, in August of 2023. It really pushed me to the point that I am today. And so I know who I am, whose I am. In a spiritual sense, um, I have been circulating through the spiritual community. Um, and just to clarify things, I don't practice witchcraft. I have never lit a candle. I have never chanted or I don't even have it in me to like wish bad upon anyone. Even my enemies, even the people who have been working against me, the people who have been stalking me, the ones who have been slandering and defaming and false accusations and setup after setup and people coming my way and this and that. Like, I still don't hate those people because I understand that we do not wrestle or fight. Our fight is not against flesh and blood. It's the spirits and principalities that are within and attached to these people. A lot of people don't even realize that there's demonic forces that are working through them to attack and try to block what God is doing in my life, for the life and for his purpose and his will, but for all of us. It's not just me. And so I don't believe, well, I can't say that I don't believe in it because I've had people to practice witchcraft against me. And I have had to step into the darkness and learn. I've been learning about spirituality. What does that mean? My concept of it all was, yes, I was raised as a Christian. I come from a very strong Christian family, very praying family. You guys may have heard me vent some negatives, but I come from an amazing family at the end of the day. Nobody's family is perfect. And there's a lot of things that I have had to heal from and probably still after, opening up and being my naked self, have to heal with my family. But at the end of the day, I am very family orientated and I love my family. So, um, so yeah, my concept of it all was like I was learning myself. I guess I had what they call a spiritual awakening, and I was trying to figure out, and I needed to figure out because I have met so many people from all across the world. Like, I have been so fortunate to meet people from Australia and, you know, just everywhere, places that I would have never even imagined meeting anyone if I was still in my home state, my hometown. So I've met people from all over the globe, a lot of different cultures, a lot of different people with different beliefs, and it made me want to go in and really search into me. Like, I know I was raised, and I challenge. I challenge the truth. I challenge my truth. I challenge myself. And so I wanted to like really decide because there's some things, you know, in different cultures and different beliefs and different faiths that I was like, I agree with that. That sounds like me. Oh, that's the same as Christianity. And so for me, it was like, how can I really and truly say that I'm a Christian if, um, if I've never like researched or I've never studied or gotten to know other cultures. If I didn't open up my mind to not be and not remain stuck in a box of the title of being Christian. Um, and so I began to open myself up, and so that brought me into the spiritual community, and they embraced me and they really helped me out through some really, really dark times. And it gave me a lot of clarity about who I am and the gifts that I hold. And, um, some things that were going on in my life that I felt, I knew, um, and but it was like I couldn't believe it. But the way they presented it to me, it was like there was no denying it, and those were things that I was not getting from church. Church was just, for me, it was all one sided. It gave me the lighter of life, the lighter of who I am and who I am becoming. But what it didn't give me is that there is some really dark and ugly, you know, spirits and people, and they do very dark and inhumane things, and they love to attach and to attack people who, um, want to live upright and want to do things right. So anyway, so that's as far as I have went as far as spirituality, outside of just me taking on, and I've always been like pretty laid back. Um, I love to have fun. I love to have a good time, but for the most part, like I'm really laid back and calm, very observant. But I am at the same time, I'm fun and goofy, and I'm very hyper. All of my kids, well, let me think. My oldest son, I don't think he is as hyper as my middle son was, and as my baby girl, she's got a lot of energy too. But even at 40 years old, I have a lot of energy. I still can turn cartwheels, and I still run fast and all of that. So anyway, I love the gym. So yeah. So as far as I have went is I've never purchased a deck of tarot cards. I've never read tarot cards. I have never paid a tarot reader. I've never went to a quote unquote witch and had any work to be done against anybody. I've never even had any work to be done to protect myself against what I was learning was people who did operate in darkness was doing against me. The only thing I've done is prayed. Okay, I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna get on my knees. I'm going to close my eyes. I'm going to get on Google and go back to some scriptures that I know that I have been taught, or that even have just came into my spirit. It may be something that comes in my spirit, and I'll type it into Google to see if there is a scripture to coincide with it. And so, thank you so much. That is super sweet. There's nothing more. There's nothing that means more to me in the world than my kids. I love them so much. They give me hell sometimes, but I love them, and it's all passion. Like it's a love that I can't explain. So thank you. It's a huge compliment. Oh, so anyway, I love all kids. Like I love kids. I love babies. I have been babysitting and keeping kids since I was 9, 10, 8, 9, 10. My mom is the same way. She loves kids. She loves babies. By the time they turn 2, she's like, all right, here y'all go. But anyway, so, uh, yeah. So anyway, I keep getting thrown off. um, so but yeah, that's as far as I've gone as far as protection, other than, being observant, really tightening up on, just being vigilant and moving according to God's word. Really, it really forced me to strengthen myself in my beliefs. And I have come to the realization that we all hold darkness and light within us. And like any and everything in life, we have a choice. And we get to choose which, my father would say, God gives us one of the greatest gifts of all, and that's the gift of free will. And so we have a choice as to whether we're going to choose darkness or light, and I'm not afraid of the dark. It's something that I've come to learn. I don't know where I get all this strength from, because I always say I'm the baby. So I'm the baby on both my mom and father's side. And so I don't know how I got all this strength and all this might and fight, and not physical fighting, even though I am a protector. I'm not going to let anybody put their hands on me. But I am a fighter as far as I don't give up. I don't give up. I don't give in. And I'm not easy to get over on. I'm not easy to just lay down. I don't easily... You can't tell me anything, and that's not to say like she refuses or rebels against authority, because I respect authority. I have very authoritative parents, and my grandparents were very authoritative, and really all my family, they're very stern and authoritative people. So anyway, so I do respect authority. I've never had an issue with authority ever. So when I say that you can't just tell me anything, is you can't pimp on me, So if you tell me something, I'm going to question it, and I'm going to challenge what I am being told, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to research and I'm going to learn about it. So my thing was, it's like, I've always been told that I'm a Christian, but how do I not know that I'm not Muslim, or that I'm not Catholic, or that I am, not spiritual? I don't, and so after all that, and after my journey in spirituality since 2019, I still am a Christian. That has not changed. Christ is king, but I have a lot of respect for the spiritual community, and that is a lot of respect for those who do not operate in darkness. I have met virtually, just by watching and connecting spiritually with a lot of people in the spiritual community who have a like heart and a like mind as someone who is of the Christian belief. And we are not here to judge. We are not here to segregate. We are not here to oppress. We are not here to isolate anybody because of what they believe. And that's why when you go and you apply for a job, and on your application, there's a disclaimer. And that disclaimer, it basically tells you that that company, that organization, does not have a legal right to discriminate against you because of your race, color, or beliefs, your faith, which is something that professionally should be left out of conversations, because we want to look at people for who they are within and the actions that they put forth, opposed to what they say and opposed to what they believe in, because there's a whole world of people and everybody. The beautiful thing about people is that we are all individuals. And even with us all being individuals, we all still come from one body. We're just different vessels. But at the end of the day, we have one goal, and that is whatever path anybody takes, that path is going to lead us back to God, And some will be in the forefront, some will be in the middle of that, and others will be on the back end. And so I just choose to travel in the light, and I choose to be my naked self. I'm okay with me. I am secure with who I am. And the areas that I'm not secure in, I have no issue with, working on those weaknesses that are within me. And I make mistakes. And I'm probably going to make some more. As long as I continue to live, I'm going to make some more mistakes, and not intentionally, but just because that is a part of human nature. And so one thing about those mistakes that I make is that I learn. I am a learner. I have never stopped going to school. Ever since I graduated high school, I've still been in college. I've still been trying. Whatever's going to teach me, and whoever's going to teach me, but teach me what's right. You can't teach me just know anything either, because I'm not going to stand for it, I'm going to stand up for what I stand up and believe in, and anything else, I don't have any problem blocking, changing, and moving away from it. Walking away from it. So I don't know what made me get on here and do this. I was actually laying down. I'm in front of my laptop. I was getting ready to get some business cards made, and try to focus on building a website. That is really not my niche, my thing. But I know that financially, it'd be better for me to just at least put a little extra effort into trying to get it done. So I don't know what brought me to this topic right here, but I just wanted to clarify that, and I've had a few conversations that spoke about oversharing. And to me, it's like, what exactly does it mean to overshare? When you are opening yourself up, your true self up, and you are being honest. Like, the truth is the truth. You can't take a little bit out and add some in and keep the good and take away the bad, or only focus on the bad and take out the good and still call it the truth. If you're going to speak the truth, it's got to be the whole truth and nothing but the truth. You got to put everything in there, or otherwise it's not the full truth. And so I come before, whoever I'm before in all truth. I don't have anything to hide. It's just like I've always been a very discreet person and private person because you have to be, I have to let you in. I have to feel something that tells me to let you in. And doesn't mean that because I let you in, that I'm letting you in to 100% of me. Is very, very, very hard to do. And to really 100% know me, because I place people where they belong in my life. So if I know that you are a person that I only talk to online, and that's as far as you go in my life, is that person that I talk to online. If you are a person that I have allowed to be around my kids, then we can do everything that concerns me and my kids, or me and your kids. So we may be at each other's birthday parties and graduations and kids events, or things of that matter. I'm pretty sure I'm talking to adults, so I know y'all get it. So there's different levels to me. There's nothing that I'm hiding. So I have yet to. There's very few people, very, very few, probably I can count them on my hand, who I allow deep into me. And I've had people that I have spent a lifetime with. I've had people that I've spent 5, 10 years with, who only know me at a surface level. So I feel like nobody can tell you about me better than I can tell you about me. And it depends on who you are and what I discern from you, how far I let you into me. So I guess that's that. And I don't know. I think that's the end of this. I want to thank you all for coming in. Your kind words. Thank you. Thank you so much. But yeah, so yeah, what is oversharing? What does that mean? We all go through life. We all have experiences, and the people who sit back and hold things in, they don't open up and talk, they never meet their people. They go through life holding on to resentment and unhealed traumas and unresolved issues, and they are the ones who are sitting back hating on, hating on, jealous of, and envious of the ones who have set themselves free. I want to change. I want a better me. Because when I present myself, when my time comes for me to leave this earth, I want that job well done from my Heavenly Father. And the more I cleanse myself and I strengthen the weaknesses in me, and I take accountability for the things within me that I need to change, and I heal the parts of me that need to be healed, the better I become. And the better I become, I feel like the closer I am to Christ. And the closer I am to Christ, then in my heart, I feel like the closer I am to my son, the closer I am to my grandmother. So my change is deeper than just me trying to be better than anybody. In some way, somehow, I have been placed in a competition or a fight, a warfare that I myself didn't even know I was in. I don't compete. I ain't got time to compete. I don't have time to compete. It's like I don't have time to compete. It's not because I feel like I'm better than anybody, but my mentality is what God has for me is for me. So what do I look like competing for something that's mine? God has already ordained that to be mine. So why do I need to compete for it? So I have been in like this one-sided competition where I've had certain people like fighting for something. I don't even know what it is. Like, what is the prize? What is the competition? And why was it so unfair to the point where the person who's been, or the people who have been competing against me, they knew what the competition was, but I didn't. So they were able to shapeshift themselves accordingly while trying to place me in a limelight and shine the light on every flaw possible just so they can win this spot, this competition that I knew nothing about. If it's mine, I'm not about to compete for it. And if it ain't mine, I don't want it. If it ain't mine, I don't want it. Here, get it. It's yours, boo. But if it's mine, I ain't gotta fight for it. I'm not gonna compete for it. I'm so easygoing, just go with the flow. Man, do not make me get out of my seat and have to stand up, because that just frustrates me even more that I done had to get out of my seat and stand up, and I just want to just coast. I enjoy going with the flow of things. I'm not forceful. I'm not pushy. I'm not aggressive. That's not my nature. That's not who I am. Now, I will stand up, and I would, that's when I'm standing up for justice. I'm standing up for something that I believe in. If I stand up, I'm standing up for who and what I love. And even with my own people, even with myself, like, I'm not a one-sided person. I've always taught my kids right from wrong. I'll pull them to the side. Take my sons for an instance. And my son comes to me, he needs some advice or whatever. And I let him know before I start giving him that advice. Like, okay, I'm going to give you advice in a few different ways. I'm going to give you advice as a woman, which is going to be non-biased. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. I'm just going to tell you from a woman's perspective. So I'm going to take being your mother out of it. And then I'm going to also give you advice as a mother, and I'm going to be biased because he's my son. So I'm going to overlook whatever the other opposing party is, and I'm only going to focus on what's best for him. But when I'm speaking to him, just as a person, as a human being, then I'm going to give him advice where I make a decision or I'm advising him for what's best for everybody involved. I want him to see from a perspective of everybody involved. I'm not going to just give him my one side that only benefits me as the advisor and him as my son. And so I take that outside of my mother-son relationship and bond, and I apply that to everyday life and everyday people as well. So even with me, like being a right is right and wrong is wrong type of person, I do myself like that as well. I don't just call out right and wrong in everybody else and don't check myself. I am my worst critic. I'm very hard on myself, and that's how I'm able to have discipline. When I set my mind to something, it's set. It's going to get done. I'm going to see it to its end. I'm not going to stop or give up on it, quit any of that until, whatever I've set out for is at its completion. That's just who I am. And so yeah, this competition, this war, I don't even think like what people have been doing has been my biggest frustration. It's like trying to figure out what is it that you're fighting for and over. Because if you got to fight over, go ahead and have it. It's obviously not mine. And if it's mine and you're trying to take it, where do you do that at? And what make you think that there is something in me that allow you to just come and take something from me that's rightfully mine? God is not going to allow that. So my protection and my faith is not in you. It ain't even in myself. For that, I may be so humble. I may not even be tapped into my intuition and probably mess up and give it away, because I'm human. I'm going to make that mistake. But in God, in Christ, there are no mistakes. He is a perfect God. And so I don't have to focus on the competition, the competitor. I don't have to focus on the naysayers. I don't have to focus on the doubters. I don't have to focus on anything or anyone but God. And He's going to guide me and lead me to exactly where I need to be. With faith. I don't see it and I don't know it. But if my trust and my belief and my faith is in God, then I'm going to get there. And it's going to be shown to me. Whatever this competition, warfare, this fight is all about. So all I have to do is just stay fixated and stay in alignment with God. Continue to work on myself and better myself, and to take care of the ones who need me, who are dependent upon who I am, so that they may become the best of who they are to be. Be it my children, be it the person that comes to me for advice, be it whoever. And so I am so glad that I had, I can't say, I'm not celebrating going through the darkness, but I had to go through the darkness because I needed to see that life is not all glitter, rainbows, high heels, fashion. I had to see that there is some real monstrosities, some death on soda cracker, some some real oogly mooglies out here in the world, and they do very sinister things, and some of them have no remorse. Some of them have no intention on changing those things. And so so I had to see that, I guess I had to get a taste of the dark side. And, for me, it was confirmation for me that I'm not afraid of the dark. Why do I need to be afraid? I don't fear anyone but God. So I stand, I have stood up in the darkness and to the darkness and to the dark people and the dark things, and I will continue to do so. Fear doesn't bother me, because if I'm afraid, or if I feel a little ounce of fear, then it's time for me to go and educate. Once I get knowledge and I'm aware of where this fear is coming from and why I have this feeling, then that illusion, fear is an illusion. So that illusion of being afraid goes away because now I know better. You know better, you do better. Right? And so, yeah. I think that's all that I had to say. Um, so yeah, I want to thank you all for. I'm watching the numbers on the subscribers, so I hope that in the future, near future, I can bring more content, better content. I will always show myself as my true self, you know, and don't be dismayed if I don't give you 1000% of my life, because I have a legal right to my own privacy, and you do not have a right to illegally invade my privacy without my knowledge and without my consent. And if you are doing so, then I want you to know and believe that I have a legal team that I run to my legal team, and I cry like I'm crying to my mom and my dad. I treat my legal team like they are, and they are my family. My legal team is my family, and um, so watch out, because I'm not going to do anything to take me out of my children's life, out of my grandchildren's life. But I will go and run. I will run to my legal team, my legal family, and give them every reason why they need to pick up their pen and paper. I'm going to see what else I wanted to say. Yeah, because you people, like, I have a thing where I always see the potential in people. Even people that have no intention on being a better them, who have no intention on growing, who have every intention on doing everything against the person that is not right, that is illegally wrong, whether illegally on earth, in the 3D, 5D, or in heaven. But I still see potential in them, and I don't know why I'm so drawn to want to help and like give these type of people like a brighter or different perspective. Like, I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe I know I do. I really enjoy the psychology of the human mind and, physics and all, I love all that kind of stuff. That's the inner doctor in me. And so, let me see. What else was I going to talk about? Oh, yeah. So I've had so many people, and I don't know if they are a part of the team that is siding with my competitor, or the people who are opposing against me. But these people y'all have really stalked and harassed my life. You people have really orchestrated failure and blockades and shortcomings and struggle and unnecessary pain and suffering, that what you all felt like should have been embarrassment and humiliation. But I cannot be humiliated by falsified beliefs of me, and I can't change what a person believes about me. If you have it fixated in your mind that I'm a certain type of person and that I operate in a certain type of way, who am I to change how you think about me? That's your business. if you don't take the time out to get to know me, if I say something to you and you really didn't understand what I was saying, but you just took it and ran off with it, and you took upon your own understanding, then that's on you. I don't care. Look here, I've had a car accident where I've been rear-ended ever since 2016, 17. Two of them, I was sitting at the red light, minding my business. One of them, I had a madman who rammed them to me in my driver's side door. Another one, I was on the freeway. I got hit from the back with a gentleman going 75 miles, 80 miles per hour. So I don't carry any extra weight that I don't need to or have to. The load on my back is already heavy. And so if you don't take the time to come to me, talk to me, hash things out, confront me, we as brothers and sisters of Christ, as one body, sisters and brothers in the spiritual community, I have found some people in the spiritual community that I love, and I don't believe from my observations that they do anything that's dark, anything that wouldn't be pleasing to God. So I don't have any plans on letting people who are good people, with good values and good beliefs and good intentions go just because they choose to not go to church every Sunday and go to read the Bible or go to Bible study every Wednesday. I love them just the same as my sisters and brothers in Christ, and I love them the same as those in the Jewish community, Tada. And I love them the same as my Muslim brother and sister, or, my Islamic, my Catholic. I love them the same as anybody else who has good intentions, who believe and work in goodwill and good service, who have integrity and all of that. And I believe that iron sharpens iron, and I believe that growth comes with correction. And so, if you're not willing to hone into that, then that's your problem. And I'm not going to take on an issue that you yourself have, either whether it's personally or it's through somebody else that and you're taking on hate or, their feelings towards me. You're taking it on and you're just jumping on a side for whatever reason to come up against me. I'm not going to do it. So, yeah. What time is it? Okay, it's still pretty early. Oh my goodness, I did good today. I don't know why I was so excited for today to come. I think I woke up like at 4 o'clock this morning, and I already had like my coffee going, and I was ready to get dressed, and we still was running. I don't know why. The earlier I get up, it's like whatever. But we still made it. We made it on time. Made it early to our destination, and thank God that we're both safe where we need to be. And here I am. So yeah, I guess I just had a few things that I needed to address. I don't mind. I still have a lot to learn. I believe in sowing seeds. I believe in donating and charity. I am a giver, and I've had to learn how to give to the right ones. I've had to learn how to say no in those givings. And just know that if you have been a part of my help, my growth, my evolution, if you have been a part of even opening up my eyes to things within me that I may have been blinded to. And it was coming from a place of goodness. Like, it was coming from a place of love. It wasn't you just being hateful and trying to tear me down and hurt me because I gave you some type of truth and you feel some type of way, and now you're coming to retaliate against me. Then know that you are not forgotten. Just right now, I'm just not at that point right now. I'm still working on me, and God is allowing me, and I'm in a position to where I am taking care of me. I'm putting me first because I've always, like, I'll start with me, but I'll stop in a heartbeat for everybody else, and I'll run to everybody else's beck and call. And, takers don't know when to stop taking. And I didn't know how to stop giving. And that is something that I have learned as I have strengthened and I have grown, is to know when to say no and to know when to stop, to know when to walk away, to know when to stand my ground and go on about my business. So I am taking care of me and my precious daughter right now. And everything and everyone else will. Trust me, I leave nobody behind. And you are always in my thoughts and in my prayers. And I'm always wishing and praying for the best. I pray for you and yours. My prayers always, that God moves in your life and through your heart and through your mind and through the works of your hands, in the way that he has willed for you. Not so much the same as he does for me, because we are individuals, right? All right. So we all have our own individual gifts and blessings that God has for us. We all have our own individual purpose and thing that God has assigned for us to do. And if what you have is from God or not. And when what you're doing, when what you are doing is right and wrong. And don't let me be the one to tell you, right from wrong, because you may not want to accept it just because it's coming from me. And all this stalking and trying to set me up while I am basically rehabilitating myself. When I am in a place in my life where I'm acknowledging and I'm accounting and I am working and I am healing and I am changing and growing and strengthening and recalibrating and resetting and all these things. Like, if I was writing that, I keep thinking back to my English professor, Professor John. He would always tell me sometimes that I could be pretty wordy, when I'm writing my sentences, to keep it as, just list 3 things. And if I need to elaborate from there, then take it from there. So anyway, so while I'm doing all these things in my life, on top of being a single mother with a new kindergartner, and, just putting in a lot of work for change and for growth, so I can fulfill God's will and purpose in my life. And I know it's bigger than me. It's not about me. I think that whatever God put into me and instilled into me, he did so. He created it so that I can be of service. And I don't want to leave this earth without doing what God intended for me to do. you know. And so stop coming up against me, because you're coming up against God. Because when you step to me, you may see me, but before me stands my God. And when you step behind me and you try to, catch me off guard and in my blind side, God is with me there as well. I have that hedge of protection around me. And so you can't see it, but God is with me, and I am in alignment for what God has for my life, and I'm not going to step out. I'm not going to turn back. I'm not going to give up, and I'm not going to give in. So say what you got to say and do whatever you got to do, I guess. To an extent. Don't you touch me. Y'all already have done enough. I've been trying to work. Y'all won't let me work. You keep popping up to my jobs. You keep calling my jobs and telling whatever it is you guys are telling them to make them go from loving me and loving my work and trusting me to come into their establishment and fulfilling my role, to them completely hating me, disrespecting me, cursing me. And the last job, the man cursed me, and I had my daughter there. He told me to get the F out because he wanted to take money from me that I had worked for. So whatever, and I literally watched somebody that I know who's a part of the opposing team. I watched and listened to her say that all she had to do was make one phone call, and the little job that I had and was so happy about, I would no longer have it. And a day or two later, I was at home. And so you people have already made the phone calls. You've already come to me with all the fake scenarios. You've already been sitting back and trying to take my energy and take my ideas. I'll never tell you what that vision was that God gave me when I was 21, that gave me that push, that courage to leave my home state and move to Vegas. I'll never tell you. And I will protect it within my mind and within my heart. And the only thing you can do is just see it. And once it comes into fruition, then you can be a part of it. And I may not even be the one who operates in it. I may be just the one who puts in the work, and then someone else comes in and actually puts it into fruition. I don't know what God has. All I know is that I'm in alignment with God and what He has for me. And whatever that may be, I don't have any plans on missing out on. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I got to use the bathroom. I love you all. I hope you all have a positive day. Please spread some love. We need it. If we don't have love circulating through our communities, through our homes, through our workplace, through our schools, then we have to look within. We can't look from the outside. We got to look from within and see where is the issue, and then start the process of elimination from there. Don't believe what you've heard about me. If you have a question, don't come to me and give me some crazy story. Don't be speaking like you heard that my big toe was missing a toenail. And you come to me and you be like, yeah, I talked to my cousin the other day and she said that her toenail came off. She don't even have no toenail. You ain't talking about your cousin. Just ask me. Just talk. It's okay. I don't know if I have a resting bitch face. I don't know if I look like I'm unapproachable. I don't know if I seem bitchy or whatever, but I'm probably one of the most coolest people you'll ever know. Yes, I'm very guarded because of some things that I've been through, and you know, I have a right to protect my energy, to protect my space, my personal space. So, you know, it's not what you do, it's how you do it, right? All right, so I gotta go. I gotta use the bathroom, and my gum is old. I've been talking for an hour. Look at y'all, got me talking. All right, bye.